I don't know where you've been, but you're going to respect this courtroom. My life has proven that it's not about where you come from, it's about where you're going. From a jailed youth who had my record expunged to becoming the youngest judge elected.
The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding.
In just 15 years. Ma'am, let me know when you want to go to rehab. Otherwise, I think you're a crackhead.
Absolutely not.
My goal is to inspire others to overcome their obstacles. You don't need him and his little raggedy roommate.
Thank you.
All while having a little fun on Mathis Court. You look like you're ready to lie right the first word out your mouth.
Suing Casey Price in the amount of $485.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may be seated.
Ms. Hoyer claims her neighbor offered to watch her son so she could visit her ailing mother and says she missed her flight when Miss Price changed her mind.
State your name.
Janet Hoyer.
Ma'am?
Casey Price.
All right, and ma'am, you're suing the defendant for $485, alleging she breached her promise to provide child care for you?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll start with you.
Your Honor, Casey is a neighbor that everyone has. One that's always asking for a favor but never returning one. And I'm not talking about your typical favors, some milk and sugar. No, she wants your whole car or $100 to run up the street when you both going the same way. It's ridiculous.
Everybody feel that way or just you? You the sucker?
No, me and some other neighbors as well.
Y'all got some other suckers on the
Yes.
block that she goes after?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. What she do to them? Do you know what type of
The
what type
stories
of
go
con she
around.
putting
It's
on
the
them?
same thing. If she can't get from one, she'll go to the other. So.
You're not like that, are you?
No, not at all. She's
You don't con your neighbors out this stuff, do you?
No, not at
She
all.
say.
They don't have you don't have that reputation on the street, do you?
She's making herself look good right now, but we'll
Okay.
leave that alone.
All right.
Okay.
And so how long have you all been neighbors?
For 5 years. Your
And
Honor.
what has she been like with respect to your friendship?
Honestly, we have become good
The
friends.
narrative opens with reciprocity. Janet watched a dog for a week, and she expected support when a crisis struck. However, in legal terms, casual favors rarely create enforceable obligations. Courts distinguish between kindness and contract. The judge will examine whether Casey's offer created any duty that would require reimbursement when everything fell apart. This is also a credibility moment. The longer the history of mutual help, the stronger the moral argument, even if the legal argument remains weak. Viewers, consider this. Does a week of pet care reasonably equal 5 days of childcare, especially when school pickups, homework, and discipline are involved?
Good friends.
Good.
And, I understand people have.
As long as you give that car up, doctor, that's right, you're going to stay good friends as long as you get that car up every month.
That's how good of a friend I am.
But I don't give to you too.
You do give, but
You give milk
Spontaneously.
and sugar. She gives, like she said, automobiles.
I'll give her what she needs.
Go
okay?
ahead.
We're both single mothers, so I know how it is.
How
So
many
that's
children
why
you
I'm
have?
there. I have one son named Neil.
Okay, how many you have?
I have one, Roger.
Okay, how are they? A similar age?
Yeah, her son's 7, mine's 8. They go to the same school.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they play
associate,
together.
they're friends?
Yes,
Good.
sir.
Good.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
So shortly before the incident occurred, I was outside watching our children play, and unfortunately I got a phone call that my mother had a heart attack. So I was on the phone for hours trying to find someone to watch my son, and Casey overheard the conversation and offered to watch my son for me. And she owed me this favor.
As I usually do. I will help you just like you help me.
What does she owe you for this time?
Because I watched her dog for a whole week, and I am not a pet-friendly person. No. But I did it. Of the kindness of my heart, I watched her dog.
You watched her dog? She should watch your dog.
She treats her dog like she treats her son. So.
That's terrible. Don't say that.
No, I mean she's a good pet owner. That's what I'm saying.
That's a
Like,
good
yeah,
pet
like
owner.
she treats.
She should still treat her child better than she treats the
yes,
dog.
I-
Treats his dog better than he treats me.
You might be on to something. He's definitely right. Go ahead. Dog don't talk back. Dog come and get up under you and be nice.
Doesn't
Okay,
ask
well,
for
I'll
money.
think of trying to get
Doesn't
one.
ask for money.
True.
Doesn't come and get your clothes out the closet unless he needs something to chew on.
Yes. Well, I thought it was easy to take care of her dog because I never hear of any issues, so I did
Janet
it.
sets the stakes clearly. A trip to New York to see a mother who suffered a heart attack. Stress, urgency, and fear often amplify expectations around promises. Yet the courtroom operates on evidence and legal principles, not sympathy alone. The question becomes whether Casey's volunteered help transformed into a binding obligation. The judge is also listening for clarity, duration, conditions, and any limits discussed. When help is offered during a crisis, it carries heavy moral weight, but moral weight and legal liability do not always align. Do you think the emergency should influence legal responsibility, or only shape our sense of fairness?
So I did it.
Okay,
I
but
did
now
it.
this time she offered to take care of your son.
Yes.
While
she
you.
did. While I went to go visit my mother in New York from the heart
Okay,
attack.
how long were you going to be gone?
For 5 days.
And you told her that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and so what occurred?
So I was on my way to the airport.
Here
and
is a pivotal moment. Janet reports that Casey called while she was en route to the airport and demanded immediate pickup. From a practical standpoint, that is devastating. From a legal standpoint, the issue is whether a volunteered favor that has begun must continue despite escalating difficulty. If a caregiver perceives risk, most courts will not force continued performance. Still, there were alternatives: a de-escalation conversation, a phone call with the parent, or a short-term timeout to reset expectations. Which path best balances safety, respect, and responsibility under pressure?
And I get a call from her. She's very upset and telling me to turn around now to come and pick up my son. And I'm asking her, like, what happened? What's going on? I could not get an explanation over the phone. I even asked to speak to my son. She said, no, come and get him.
Allegedly.
Was he hurt or anything?
No, he wasn't hurt. She just said that he was misbehaving, and that was it.
Oh, and
so
she
I
didn't-
really didn't get the whole concept of the
Well,
story.
let's
I
hear
didn't know
from
what
her
was going
today.
on.
Maybe she don't take no stuff. Let me hear from you.
So, first of all, this is my first time hearing that she don't like my dog, but okay.
Coming up on Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Kicking your seat and what else?
He was kicking my seat and telling me, you are not my mom and I don't have to listen to you.
So you should have been a mother and de-escalated the problem and spoke to him right then and there. If
So
we're
now
friends,
we're questioning my parenting.
Mathis Court is back with a case of Janet Hoyer, who is suing Casey Price for travel expenses.
What I understood to be in friendship was just that. I help her, she helps me, and it is what it is.
And you offered to take care of her child. She didn't
asked
even
me-
have to ask.
She asked me,
Oh, okay. She
and then
said
I
she
told her I
didn't.
would.
Okay.
if you
because she
remember the
kept my dog.
conversation,
She
I
said
was
she didn't ask you. She
outside
said you
talking while our
volunteered.
kids were playing, and you heard me, and you're like, what's going on? I explained to you, my mom had a heart attack, and then you were still there while I was calling relatives to watch my child,
Either
and
way-
then you were like,
No,
well,
it's not
I will
either
be
way.
there for
Either way,
way.
I agreed, right?
Well, I'm just saying it speaks better of you, what she's saying and what I'm saying, but fine, you didn't ask. She begged you. Okay, fine.
Casey describes the child kicking the car seat and declaring, "You are not my mom." That statement matters. Authority must be recognized for supervision to function. A parent may accept certain behaviors from a distressed child, but a third party does not have the same latitude or tools. Legally and practically, supervision requires cooperation, or at least the possibility of regaining it through calm intervention. Casey essentially argues that boundaries were crossed and that continuing would invite greater conflict. Viewers, place yourself in that driver's seat. Would you continue the favor, or would you call the parent to collect the child immediately?
Okay, fine. She had to beg you. Your neighbor had to beg you to take care of her child. As close as y'all been for 5 years, she take care of your dog, she does this, and she had to beg you.
I had no
I beg her
problem
for other
taking
things
care of
too,
her
but
dog.
like I
I'm
said,
trying
she
to say,
chooses the
you need the
favors.
benefit
But I let
of
you speak, though.
offering. Go
But
ahead,
you're not my
ma'am.
mother.
So
Go ahead.
I told her yes. I agreed to keep her son, and it was not a problem with me. She told me that she could assure me that he was going to be okay. I've never seen him have any kind of behavioral issues before. We hang out all the time. Our kids play together. Never seen, you know what I mean, anything from him that was out of the ordinary. However, now that she's gone, I pick them up from school. I was supposed to keep them Friday through Tuesday. And I get them from school. When we're on our way from school, they're in the back seat. I tell them, hey, when you get to the house, before you get on all your little electronics and all that stuff, you guys need to do your homework, right? So he begins to kick the back of my seat and tell me, you are not my mom, and I don't have to listen to you. So at that point, I said, okay, I'm gonna call your mom, and she gonna come get you, because we don't do that. And my son doesn't even talk to me like that, so I'm not going to allow somebody else's child. Because if it was my child, I'd probably put him over my knee. But it's not my child. So I felt like I was helping by calling her prior to her leaving. If she would have got on the plane, it would have been a whole other situation. You know what I mean? And he started
Where
acting
you was
out.
going to send him if I was on the plane?
If she would have got on
friend.
the plane and I called her later, it would have been a worse situation, right? But I was conveniently calling you before you even got on the plane. So you can figure out what you're going to do with your son, because if he's already acting like this on day one, I can't imagine what he's going to be like day 4 or 5.
Did she ask or did you suggest she speak to him on the phone?
I asked.
She probably asked. I can't recall.
So what happened? Why didn't you?
Judge Mathis presses on a crucial point. Why did Casey refuse to let Janet speak to her son by phone? A parent's voice can diffuse anxiety, restore authority, and prevent escalation. Denying that contact undermines the claim that every reasonable step was attempted. It also appears controlling, which weakens Casey's position in the court of public opinion, if not in the court of law. Communication is often the bridge between a child's emotions and an adult's boundaries. Audience question: should a temporary caregiver ever block a parent from speaking to a child during a behavioral crisis?
Why didn't you think to? If she asked and you can't recall, why didn't you think to, here, you might want to talk to your son? That's the first thing you want to do.
That's cool, but I did, when she finally got there, I told her everything that was going on. I explained it then. So if I didn't explain it all on the phone or what have you, it could have been just because I was upset at the moment. But I explained it later, and I told her everything.
Kicking your seat and what else?
He was kicking my seat and telling me, you are not my mom, and I don't have to listen to you.
So you should have been a mother and de-escalated the problem and spoke to him right then and there. If
So
we're
now
friends,
we're questioning my parenting.
No, I'm not questioning. I would never do that. I would never do that.
Questioning your babysitting. Yes, because questioning your babysitting. Yes, that's different from parenting. It's like
you should have been
like
a
the
mother.
child said, you're not her mama, or you're not his mama. So I'm saying she's questioning
Well,
your
you should have been my
babysitting
friend.
skills.
You should have
And
been
you
my
should have
friend
told
and
me
knew
that-
that I was rushing to the airport to go see my mother.
Okay.
And then just took care of the situation by yourself.
So if you felt
know
like
our
you had a
children,
little
they
Stewie
don't-
Griffin over there with you, you should have told me that before I babysitted him. But
To
instead,
tell you what?
you didn't tell me your son was a little Stewie Griffin.
Now you
Now your name called.
Well, she just talked about my
lock me up
parenting.
right here,
What'd
Yana,
she
because
say
I'm about
about
to
your
get
She
parents?
just said I should have been a mother and
and I
de-escalated the
apologize.
situation.
Like friends
I am
do,
a great
I
mother.
apologize. But
She
let
didn't
me
say
fix
be a
my
mother
words.
to
You
your
should have been a
children.
friend
She said
and
be a
been there
mother
for
to
me.
hers.
And
So she wasn't
de-escalated the
questioning your
situation yourself. You know he does not act up.
Well,
so
I wouldn't have been able to
obviously, Your
handle
Honor,
him the way I would have been
think
able
that
to
he was
handle my
going
own.
through a
So
little
I called
issue.
you to handle your own.
He was
I felt
probably,
like that
he's
was the
never
best
been
thing
away
to
from
do.
me. Probably going through separation anxiety, wondering what's going on with his grandmother, just having a little tantrum. All you had to do was talk to him.
Janet reframes the behavior as separation anxiety and fear about a grandmother's health. That explanation fits many 7- and 8-year-old reactions to abrupt change. The dispute then becomes a clash of care philosophies, empathic explanation versus firm boundary enforcement. Courts frequently avoid refereeing parenting philosophies, focusing instead on safety, reasonableness, and legal commitments. Here, one adult perceived risk, and the other perceived a need for patience. The unresolved element is timing. Could a brief phone call and a cooling-off period have preserved the arrangement and the flight?
But selfish.
I did attempt to talk to him.
But you are selfish.
I did attempt.
And
What did you say to him?
He didn't want to listen to me.
What did you say to him, and what did he respond? How
I
did he
told him
respond?
I am an adult. Your mom left you with me, so you are gonna have to obey.
Okay.
Just like I would anybody else who I'm
Okay.
babysitting, which I've babysitted a lot of other people's children, and I don't have to deal with them talking to me like that.
You know he does not do that. So obviously there was a situation.
But she tried.
and
So
you should
obviously
You
have-
said
his
she should have
behavior changes.
de-escalated. She said she did try. Man, what did your son tell you? Let's get there. He's 7 years old or 8.
He
what
honestly
did
told
he
me
say?
that he just missed. He did not like that I left him. He never slept out of the house.
At what point did he tell you this? When you came back home?
While I was trying to find another sitter, as soon as I picked him
Where
up
were
from
you
her.
all? When
I
you-
was driving
When he
to the
told you
airport.
that, was he in the car, in the
Oh,
house?
we were in the car. We were in the car driving. I was taking him to a
So
friend's
what
house.
did you say to him?
I just told him, regardless of how you feel, you never disrespect adults, and you know better.
And he should have known that before he
Okay,
came.
so what did you do with the situation then? How did you handle it after that, going to see your mother?
Okay, so I ended up leaving him with a friend, and
That friend have any complaint?
No, he had no complaints at all.
Coming up,
She clearly did not want to watch my son.
It was
Like she
time for
picks
you
and
and him to
chooses her
go.
favors to give to her neighbors and her friends.
You said she offered to. You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Mathis Court is back with a case of Janet Hoyer, who is suing Casey Price for travel expenses.
How does she owe you money, though?
She owes me money because I had to turn around and catch a red-eye flight that cost me $485. Your Honor, I'm a single mother.
The financial claim arrives. $485 for a red-eye flight. Judge Mathis provides a direct lesson in contract law. A promise of a gift or a gratuitous favor is not enforceable until it is completed. That principle protects people from legal exposure for casual commitments and protects the courts from endless disputes over informal promises. The fairness argument remains compelling, but the legal argument fails unless there was consideration, clear terms, or reliance that the law recognizes as reasonable and foreseeable in a way that binds the promiser. Moral frustration does not automatically create legal damages.
And I worked paycheck to paycheck.
Did you tell
I
your
could
son
not
that?
afford that. Yes, I did. But if she would have took the time out to understand what was going on or even ask
You have
him.
no obligation to do that. You got to watch who you agree to accept a gift from. Man,
She owed me a favor, and I even have the text messages
She owed you a
that
gift. There's no such thing as owing a gift. I mean, people use that terminology, but there's no such thing. A gift is not enforceable. It is not a contract. You can't enforce a gift until it's completed. Other than that, it's a promise of a gift. It's a promise of doing something for you. The gift was to take care of the son. That's the gift you're giving her. Then you failed to take care of the son. So you took that gift back. But was the gift conditioned upon him behaving in a reasonable way? Because no one can expect you to give them a gift that's going to cause you harm or
Pain and
hardship.
My son told me that he tried to apologize to her, and she didn't even want to accept the apology. She clearly did not want to watch my son.
It was
Like she
time for
picks
you
and
and him to
chooses her
go.
favors to give to her neighbors and her friends.
You said she offered to.
Coming up,
I'm not going to let you talk to your child.
She did not let me speak to him over the phone.
You asked?
I did ask,
And she
Your
said
Honor.
no.
She said no, come and get him. She said come and get him. She bailed on me.
You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Mathis Court is back with a case of Janet Hoyer, who is suing Casey Price for travel expenses.
You calling all these folks, and she's the only one that offered. Nobody else even picked up the phone. Nobody wanted to be
maybe
bothered
they know
with
something
you.
that we don't know, Judge.
Yeah, that's what I say. Nobody wanted to be bothered with you. You said you called for hours.
Everyone was busy, and it was short notice.
Why
You know-
everybody busy when you call? Everybody busy when you call?
She lives
Everybody
close.
busy when you call?
Sometimes.
Well, they don't want to be bothered with you either. Everybody not busy. Nobody, they're not busy when I call. Few people are, but not everybody. Everybody you call is busy.
Your Honor.
At least they pick up for you. Do they pick up
They
for you?
picked up. They
You're
all
not on
picked
block?
up. No.
How many people? You don't know
No.
whether you're blocked or not.
I'm not blocked. I'm not blockable.
I get that little one ring and then they send a text.
That means blocked.
No.
So one ring and then it goes to a text, hey, can I call you back?
That's what you do to me. Don't get me upset. All right. Now that's what my son does. He's right. He does just that. Can I call you back? And then when he doesn't, he says he forgot. In any event, ma'am.
Risk analysis moves center stage. Judge Mathis notes that continuing the favor could have placed Casey in harm's way, particularly if physical discipline or restraint became an issue. When supervising another person's child, a single misstep can lead to legal consequences and damaged relationships. The judge signals a practical doctrine: no one is required to continue a voluntary service that reasonably appears unsafe or unmanageable. For parents, the takeaway is preparation. Identify backup caregivers and discuss discipline boundaries in advance. For neighbors, the lesson is clarity. Define limits before agreeing.
This was a promise of a gift, and she should not have, the gift should not cause her hardship or put her in harm's way. And she would have been in harm's way had she laid hands on your son. And that might be how she would have chosen to resolve that. I think she did best by telling you to come get the child, but you should have insisted on speaking to your child. I think that's where you messed up.
I did, Your Honor.
She can't prohibit you from talking to your child. I don't believe that. She can't say, no, I'm not going to let you talk to your child.
She did not let me speak to him over the phone.
You asked?
I did ask,
and she
Your
said
Honor.
no.
She said no, come and get him. She said come and get him. She bailed on me.
How will Judge Mathis rule? Find out when Mathis Court returns.
The argument briefly detours into pet behavior, but the real issue is credibility and consistency. Both parties claim their children behave well overall. Without evidence of a pattern, the court treats this incident as situational rather than habitual. That observation weakens any claim that Janet misrepresented her child's conduct, and it also weakens an argument that Casey should have predicted trouble. In other words, this appears to be an acute conflict triggered by stress, novelty, and authority transfer. The absence of a behavioral history cuts both ways and ultimately favors legal minimalism.
Your dog wasn't a perfect dog when I watched him for a week. For you to go on vacation with your family.
That's a
We're
good
not talking
point.
about my dog
With
right
your-
now. So because she felt my dog wasn't well behaved, now it's okay to drop your son off to me knowing that your son ain't well
I
behaved.
didn't drop him off to you. First of all, you know I go all out for my son. We've known each other too long to be even
How your children
going.
doing? They're in the first and second, or what grade are
They're
they?
Second and third.
All right, and there are no complaints from the teachers?
No, I don't. Our
All
children
right.
are not problem children. They get
So she
along.
said.
We get along. They have their typical, oh, you kicked the ball too hard, or this and that, like how little boys play. But they have never gotten disrespectful to either one of us.
I don't know how he's
The
behaved.
ruling arrives. Dismissal. The reasoning is straightforward. A voluntary favor did not create an enforceable obligation, and the moment it posed hardship or potential harm, Casey had the right to stop. The court also notes a missed opportunity. Janet should have insisted on speaking with her child sooner, which might have salvaged cooperation. The judge's conclusion draws a clean boundary between kindness and contract. It may feel harsh, but it provides a clear public lesson. Define expectations, plan for escalation, and never assume that goodwill equals legal duty.
How he's behaved.
Ma'am, I'm
in
going to have to
school.
dismiss your claim. She had no obligation to you. And when it appeared to her that it was going to be problematic, either perhaps putting her in harm's way, kicking the seat and talking crazy, you might want to reach back and get your feet off my seat. Get your
Like
feet
the
off my
simple
seat. And
conversation, like,
boom,
what's
there goes
going
an
on?
accident.
No.
So, no, she had no obligation to continue with a gift that put her in harm's way. So I'm going to have to dismiss your claim. Have a good day.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
Final judgment. The claim is dismissed and the defendant prevails. The court distinguishes moral reciprocity from legal obligation. A promise to provide childcare, without consideration or formal terms, remains a non-binding favor. When the situation became contentious and potentially unsafe, the caregiver could withdraw. Key takeaways: establish expectations in writing for extended childcare, agree on de-escalation steps and communication rights, and secure a backup plan for emergencies. Now it is your turn. Was the ruling correct, or should reliance and urgency have carried more weight? If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and do not forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.